Hey everyone, this is Bo from the Mario server. I'm here to do a video on the things in Mabinogi that are OP. Now I know some of you guys think that I favor Mabinogi to the very core of his game, but there are some things in the game that are just so bad. So let's go ahead and take a look at what they are. Let's go! One of the most OP obvious things in the game would have to be pets. If you guys have a ton of pets that do stun effects, obviously it is very helpful during combat. I mean, it stops the enemies from moving and makes it so much easier to do things, right? Compared to those players who do not have pets, it's really unfair, but you know what? That's what you guys throw your money in for. Now another slightly minor OP thing in the game would have to be Shadow Crystals. Now most players already have Shadow Crystals, but there are some players who don't, and for those that don't know what it is, it's basically an item that increases the amount of EXP and gold received from a Shadow mission. Basically will put you at a better advantage than those people who don't have it. Another thing would be accessories, and I know some of you guys are like, bro, what? Accessories? Nobody uses accessories. But if you guys have some really good accessories with lots of good enchants and reforges on them, you can equip 2 on your character, and that makes you at a higher advantage than other players. And I'm going to say for sure that there are some accessories out there valued quite a bit that are worth 50 to 100 mil if they are enchanted and reforged properly. Another slightly OP thing in the game would have to be Elemental Reforged gear. Now I know some people can be not familiar with Elemental Reforged, but what they do is they basically increase the damage done on neutral ice and lightning monsters, and that can actually affect the Festia board for Klabbermeister, thus increasing a large amount of damage for enemies. So some people are wondering, how the heck do those people get a really high amount of damage on that Klabbermeister board? Well, I'll tell you guys right now, a good amount of them are using Elemental Reforged gear. Now another OP thing in the game would have to be the very hard mode Gargashi raids. Now I know some of you guys are like, I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole, Bobo. But there are some people out there who actually frequently do the very hard mode Gargashi raids, and they can do it up to 2 to 5 minutes long, and it earns them up to 500,000 EXP. That is roughly 6 to 10 million EXP in an hour. Now that actually grants them a lot of EXP for potential, and it can put them at a higher advantage than other players. Now the only downside to this is that it's very hard to gather a group, and obviously if you guys look on the squad board, most of the time it's empty. And that is because most people who do these runs are already having their own group privately with their friends, with their guildies, with people that they know that are strong. And that actually puts those who aren't in this type of group away from the community and away from this huge gap between those who are OP in levels and damage. So it's kind of a downside for those people who want to level up but can't, and they have to resort to other ways and not through the easy ways of very hard mode Gargashi. Now another thing that is OP in the game would have to be AP training and skill training seals. Now for those that aren't familiar with the AP training, it's actually kind of a new thing that just got added, and what it basically does is it allows you to put AP in to train skills. But in order to do that, you need to have a minimum of 30 points trained in, and that can easily be obtained with skill training seals. And if you have skill training seals and you have a lot of AP, you can easily rank up anything in the game by just standing there. And that's one thing that I find kind of OP, because back in the days, we actually had to do things. We actually had to train things and find things. And here I can just stand in the square of Dunbarton and just kind of level up from E to 1 in blacksmithing, doing absolutely nothing but pressing buttons. And I kind of find that unfair to those people who actually spend a lot of time mining, who spend a lot of time crafting things that they needed to do for blacksmithing. But that's how it is now, guys. It is really easy for those players who want to catch up to other players at this huge level gap in the game. Last but not least, I'm not gonna lie, but Gachapons and the item shop is probably the most OP thing in this game. It has a heavy influence on the Mabinogi market and economy, and it does put paying players at a higher advantage than all the other players, because they're first in line to get all the goods. Now one of the most popular things that come from the Gachapons would have to be training potions, and they can be easily sold to other players who have Gachapons or don't have Gachapons, and it helps them increase their skill level faster. Another thing you can get from the item shop is fine reforges and Kratos reforges. This can be sold to other players for a hefty price, and for the merchants that sell the reforges, they have a higher advantage of becoming rich in the game, because reforges usually only come from the item shop. Mabinogi uses microtransactions to make money off of the game, and it's totally understandable because a company that offers a free game needs to make money somehow. Unfortunately, with gachapons, because it is RNG, you're not guaranteed to have a stable economy in the game. There's people who would buy gachapons to no end until they actually get the things that they want. Cough, cough. Bobo? No, not me. But basically what happens is that if people spend a lot of gachapons and inflate the economy, it is essentially the paying players that control the economy. And that is my video on the OP things in Mabinogi. Now I know some of you guys are not going to like this video, but I wanted to show you guys that I wasn't biased and there are some negative things in the game. If there's some other stuff you guys want to share, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and like always guys, stay awesome.